What's up, y'all? It literally just ended like 5 seconds ago. Shout out to T Top in the middle of a successful event. I think the twerk battle is still left. Probably got another battle as well that's still on the way. But shout out to T Top doing his thing, man. Great turnout, great stream so far. Let's get into what everybody's here for. Bad News versus Av. I'm gonna talk about some of the stuff that I didn't want to say in my prior stream towards the second half of this. Um, the battle just happened. It went down. There was going to be a lot of questions, of course. Is the battle still going to take place? Does Av still want to do the battle? Will Bad News show up? Will T Top still support or still host Bad News on the stage? Or all these type of questions, right? What will happen? Will it go up in the building? Will somebody try to fight Bad News? Will they call him out? Will they boo? You got all this controversy, and to be honest, you can't pay for promotion like this, right? For everybody that's on the side of the token saying business is business, it is what it is, this is all just part of the entertainment, and you say that you can't pay for promotion like this. For everybody else, that's like, man, is this gonna happen? Should it happen? It happened, okay? Regardless of where you stand. All in all, I'll just get this out the way because I got a couple notes as well, like some of the bars. Anybody that wants me to pick a winner, nobody won. Like nobody, not the fans, not the league. Well, T Top might get some views out of this. Now that I think about it, you never know. It's not a replayable battle. Like you definitely not going to get that. Um, the battle is just ruined by the controversy. It's not a good battle. And they was rapping, but it's just not a good battle. The vibe, the energy, the crowd. You could tell that people was just there for the controversy of it. Just like, is he going to show up? What's he going to say? Is Av going to come up with some new material for it? That's what everybody was there for. You could tell it wasn't about the talent. It wasn't about let's bar out and who's going to have the most clever and the most creative material. But what the hell do we expect? Or what did we expect? Once again, you can't pay for promotion like this. But it was a bad battle, right? It is ruined. I think even Av and Bad News in the middle of the battle, like talking to each other. Somebody was passed out in the crowd and they started like mumbling to each other, but you could still hear them talking to each other on the mic. And Bad News is saying to Av, like, man, I knew they was gonna do this to me, but damn, they did it to you too. And then by the third round, they both kind of mumbling, like, yo, let's get out of here. You know what I'm saying? Battle was ruined, battle was bad. I don't have a winner. I don't care to pick a winner. Um, it's sometimes it happens like this. I'm gonna be 1,000, man. Sometimes when you show up to see something else other than the creativity and the actual rapping, this is what happens. It happened to me as well. You know what I'm saying? I ain't got no picks, man. I'm keeping it 1,000. It happened to me as well. You go watch Matt Hoffa versus Serious Jones. It's one of the worst main events on the channel, on our channel. And that's despite Matt Hoffa being extremely talented battle rapper and Serious Jones being an extremely talented battle rapper. But that situation, that vibe, that energy in the building, it was a shitty main event. I'm calling a spade, and it happens. Everybody showed up looking to be there in the building to see something different. So it didn't happen. Nothing crazy happened. But I guess the next thing that was also going to be a big question if the battle goes down and if Bad News shows up is, will Av address it? And he did. He did. So Av altered some of his material. What was it like? The news and all that type of stuff came out 4 or 5 days ago, whatever. Av is known to be a puncher, not really known to be an angler. But he put it into his first round, right? And I guess that's the best placement historically in battle rap to put a lethal angle, because you could shut down the rest of somebody else's performance. So he put it in his first round. Now, if I go through some of the notes I took, so Bad News kicks off the battle. Okay, he goes first, so it's like a pin drop in there. Like, all right, what the fuck are you about to say behind all this controversy, Bad News? I don't want to misquote the man. I'm not even gonna watch it again. I'm just gonna say, hopefully, I got this correct. And if I don't got it correct, all due respect to Av and Bad News as artists, and y'all could drop comments below. Tell me, like, no, you heard something else. You messed up the lyrics, say up here, whatever. But in a piece of Bad News Round, I thought I interpreted him explaining that the paperwork was possibly falsified, right? As if like cops or agents or detectives or whatever. I thought I heard him say that the paperwork, like he had a little angle in there that the paperwork was falsified, right? I thought I heard him say that. Could have been contradicted though, because once again, all due respect, if I heard something wrong, I was sitting right here in the same spot watching it with these headphones on. All due respect, if I heard something else, I could have also swore I heard slightly after that in Bad News Round. He says, I told, but he got acquitted. I thought that's what I heard he said. And I'm watching the Rap Grid chat, live chat during the pay-per-view. And people started saying in the live chat, I told, I told, I told, I told. They started repeating what I thought that I heard as well. I told, right? So unless the chat was wrong and unless I heard something wrong, with all due respect, Bad News fessed up to it. And if we heard it as what we thought he said and intended to say, if you say, I told, but he didn't get, or saying he didn't get, I said acquitted. I think it must have meant convicted. Either he said that wrong or I heard that wrong or whatever, but didn't get convicted. Okay. All due respect once again, but I can't switch up from things I've already said on this channel, right? I was saying this about King Yella, right? Y'all, if y'all notice this stream, y'all know I said it a bunch of times. There's no such thing as retracting from y'all street codes of, I say y'all because it don't apply to me. Like, I ain't no street nigga by far. I don't want to be active in none of that shit. I'm cool. I'm gonna stay right here as a civilian, stay away from all the drama. I ain't on shit. I don't want disrespect with nobody. I don't want to get into nobody. I ain't on nothing. I'm over here, minding my business, hopefully, right? Let me do my little podcast. But I said what I want to believe is still real to most of y'all, which is there is no I told, but there is no justification. And what King Yella was saying a lot was, yeah, I was in that detective's box. And yeah, I said that this is a G. They asked me and I co-signed, yeah, he is a GD. And yeah, he is a B. And you validated their investigation and you went on record as given statements, right? Whether the world already knew it or not. There is no such thing for all y'all that apply codes is saying, I told, but they didn't get arrested, or I told and they didn't get in trouble, or I told and they didn't get convicted, or they got off. There's no such thing as that. I gave this, I'll give it again. I gave the same example. If I walk into the precinct today and I say, I need to speak to a detective, they say, all right, give me a second. They bring out a detective. He says, come take a walk with me. And he sits me down in his office or in the box or whatever. And he says, all right, what's going on, man? I say, listen, I got some information for you. Such and such up on corner XYZ. They got it third shift all night from 12 a.m. all the way through 4 a.m. If you run out there, you would catch such and such out there. He's moving dimes and blah, 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 blah. And the detective says, thank you for the information. Appreciate your help of helping us clean up the streets. Shakes my hand and I go about my business. I walk out the precinct. If that detective never uses my information, if he never runs up on such and such on that corner, if he never goes and makes an arrest, if nothing ever happens to such and such that I gave information on, does that mean that I didn't tell? Of course it does. The aftermath of what happens behind you telling does not change your actions and what you did. And I stay away from all the people that use that as the gray area. And that's why I was mentioning King Yellow before. Like, he's like, yeah, I said this, but I said something to everybody. And who got, the moment I see a street nigga say, but who got arrested behind my comments, I'm like, oh, you got it. You got it. You got it. You got it. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't want to argue. I don't want to debate. I don't want, you got it. You know what I'm saying? So in the live Rap Grid pay-per-view chat, that's what everybody was saying when Bad Newz said, I told, but it was just I was just like, ooh, like, well, I mean, he owned up to it as what most of us thought we heard. All right. What else I take a note of? Said he would let it slide this battle, but the next event somebody play with him, the battle is over. So Bad News is alluding to, Av, if you got some rat or some snitching bars or angles, whatever the case may be, I'm gonna let you get away with it. But if anybody else calls me a rat or a snitch to my face after this, the battle is over. How do you interpret that? That means that he's saying that he's going to continue the battle, right? And then it just comes down to three pieces: him wanting to battle, a league willing to book it, and because league owners are different. Some league is just like, yo, fuck it, controversy sells. Other league owners just like, I'm a chill. Everybody's different, right? So you just need league owners that's like, yo, let's work. And you need an opponent that's willing to accept the battle. And life goes on. You know what I'm saying? Like life goes on. And just be an angle that he'll stand in front of. But I would say this to that point: if Bad Newz wants to continue to battle, as he said right there in that moment, then your fans and the battle rap community that spends money for these pay-per-view events, and I want to assume the league owners that spend money and have you sign contracts or whatever, they're going to expect the same thing that they've expected from you prior, which is professionalism, right? First of all, this is the type of shit that people say on battle rap stages, whether it's true or not, right? And we're going to get into the stuff that Bad News said about Av, right? We didn't get there yet. So this is battle rap. People will say all types of dirt and disgusting shit on your name. So News, if you choose to keep battling and standing in front of what you know will be an angle that will be on you forever, you can't, you should, you do what you want. You shouldn't be approaching battles telling yourself, if another battler calls me a rat or calls me a snitch or whatever, battle's over, I'm popping on. I just want to hope that that was lyrics during this battle, just bars. You can't sign contracts bringing that to these events. You know what I'm saying? And then on top of that, if you pop on one person, you got to pop on everybody. Let's be real. Especially if you pop on somebody on stage, because especially if you follow the Arsenal the Rebel rule book, anything goes on stage. You could say anything on stage. They say suck my dick all the time on stage. I thought that was words to die over. They say your son this, your mother this, your deceased this, you did. They say that on stage every fucking battle. And you don't got to be Arsenal to say. I see a lot of people saying this, that wild, crazy shit that you don't say off stage. That is what we accept and we expect on the stage of battle rap. So if you choose your own choice to keep battle rapping, you have to accept hearing that angle. Yeah, well, when I say have to, I'm talking about just the rules and the nature and the history of battle rap. Bad News has his own man; he could do whatever he wants. But then you get up there with XYZ, and you disrupt the battle, you push somebody, or you stop the round, or you swing on somebody, right? Knowing that this is also what happens in battle rap, right? Then you also got to stand on it anytime somebody calls you that in and outside of battle rap. Anybody that calls you rat, anybody that calls you a snitch, you gotta take that. You gotta keep that same energy. And any rapper after that on stage that says it, you got to keep that same energy. It's not worth putting yourself in that spot. Honestly, if it was me, I wouldn't put myself in that spot even by stepping on the stage in the first place. But I'll get to that towards the end. But I'm just saying that respectfully. Like, I want to hope that when News said that, it was just like part of his bars. Like, because you can't walk into a battle rap scenario knowing that, because it's gonna happen. So it's just like, and league owners, if you book that and that's his genuine energy, like not outside of bars, then you're actually fucking over the fans, bro. We're gonna do. You gonna book something that you know is gonna be a fight. Now you're trying to get some clout and some extra views and go viral. So the fans is not gonna let y'all get away with fuck shit. They buy a card, they want to see the rounds, right? So we got to keep it like that if he's gonna do what he says, which is keep rapping. But all right, I wrote down that it got a lot of quiet reaction. You could hear a pin drop, not just during Bad News's round, but almost the whole battle. Av was getting some reaction, but it was almost the vibe like Like, do you really want to be in the crowd and start screaming and yelling for like I feel like the crowd seemed like they was in a tough spot. Like, it just you could hear a pin drop during most of the battle. You know what I'm saying? Like the only person I seen like one person on stage nodding their head to Bad Newz's boss. Everybody else on stage seemed kind of stoic, and the crowd was just hush. They was literally there just to see what happened, or what would happen. They was there for the fuck shit. Keep it real. Room got a little restless in the first round. All right, now let's get to Av's first round. And there's really not too much else to break down past this other than Newz's second round. But all right, so Av's first round, he got into the angle. A lot of people say Av is a puncher. He don't angle. It's last minute. He's done interviews saying, I don't know if I'm gonna do it. I like Newz, etc. So a lot of people are just like, damn, Av is gonna spare him. I'm not trying to say that Av sat down and tried to craft a coffin. I'm not gonna say that, but Av definitely was just like, nah, I gotta get to this angle. He did. And I don't think anybody with intelligence was gonna try to get at Av if he didn't go towards that angle and say, "Ooh, you scared." I see that happening so much. Listen, you ever hear the term "stay dangerous"? Many of us do. Many of us do, right? You don't have to be Bad Newz. You don't have to be Av. You don't have to be ARP. You don't have to be the biggest guy or the smallest guy in battle rap. A lot of these people could be dangerous. A lot of these people could hurt you, right? Like, come on, like all it is. Oh, who's scared and who's not? Like, when I hear people talk like that, it's just like you got that in you. I don't apply that to nobody. I don't be on that type of shit. You know what I'm saying? If you're a man and you bleed, if you're not an alien or some movie shit, you can bleed and so can I, which means that I could hurt you bad or you could hurt me bad. Period. So anybody that was gonna do that, like, oh, Ab didn't approach it because he's scared. I would love to just assume that for Av. Like, no, like if Av didn't do it, doesn't mean that, oh my God, I'm shaking in my boots behind Bad Newz. No, it's a rap battle. If it was me, I probably would have fucking, if I had the talent, I would have fucking put in my rounds to oh fuck who it was. It could have been the biggest battle is or the most gangster battle rap. It's a rap battle. You know what I'm saying? So all that shit that people, oh, you scared? Like, why would anybody need to be scared? But anyway, so he got into it, right? Um, he had a line, do you on your kicks, but snitch on your jacket? Ooh, ooh. That's tough. Like Av is a rapper, B. That was one that I caught. He got into a little small segment. He was like, I wonder if Smack knew. There y'all go, putting it on other people. I don't even get along with them people, man, but I still abide by the same rules no matter what. You know what I'm saying? I'm consistent. Like, there y'all go, put it on other people. I think he did it to John a little bit too, but it's a rap battle, so it's okay. Some people listen to rap battles though and run with shit though, but I mean, it's cool though. Like I said, it's just rounds. It's just lyrics. It's just how you wrote. Um, he said, ask him if GD equals gave details. Ooh. All due respect and shout out to all the GDs out there. But yeah, that was tough in Av's first round. He broke down kind of like, it was like what everybody says. It was weird to see because Newz, he acts very, very tough and street. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying that he's not tough. I'm not saying that he's not street. I'm just saying that his presentation and his aura and his mannerisms depict that so much. That's another reason why the news was so shocking to people. So Av got into that. Um, he asked John if he read the paperwork. Shout out to John. Once again, that's what people will do. They will go after you and then they will go after your perimeter. You know what I'm saying? What league owners booked you? Did you battle on Bags and Bodies? Was you in the mansion? Did he rep Bags and Bodies? Did he rep Bullpen? Did he ever battle on URL? Did he rep URL? Did he ever battle on this league? Did he battle on RBE? Like that's what people will do. They start going after and they, oh, you knew. Did you read the paper? Did you know? Boo boo? Happened to me too with Big K and Adi Boom. You know what I'm saying? I get it. But the actions, fuck the talk, fuck the speculation, fuck the questions of everybody just trying to put it on other people. The actions will show. It's the actions, right? I think a lot of people expected this battle to still happen, especially after T Top confirmed it was still going to happen. But now going forward, you get to just watch. Just watch people's reaction, watch what people say, watch associations, watch battles, and then you just get to see where people stand. Period. You know what I'm saying? Including Bad News, and he rap like he's gonna keep battling. So but that was an angle. Oh, this one I definitely took a note of. Av had an incredible um Biggie scheme, an incredible Biggie scheme. And towards the end of it, he closed it out with some shit like, just because they gave you one more chance don't mean you got to tell them who shot you. But he had a bunch of other Biggie song titles mixed into the scheme. It was dope. I was like, like he went off with his Biggie scheme. Second round, Av felt like, the stuff that he wrote prior to this stuff coming out. But second round of Bad Newz, what did I jot down in my notes for him? In the second round, Bad Newz got into an angle of Verb say, oh, this was big in his second round. Okay. So in the second round, Bad Newz got into a whole angle of trying to call Av a pedo. And he was stating that it came from Verb, right? Saying that Verb was saying that there's a battle rapper that was sleeping with a 16-year-old, and then he ended up saying that it was Av. I don't know nothing about that. I think I heard about um people saying or alleging like, hey, there's a battle rapper in here that's been with a young girl that's a pedo. I never heard any names associated to it, but seeing this is what the angle that News went in his second round. And I mean, it's battle rap. You know what I'm saying? I don't know Av's personal business. You know what I'm saying? I just when I hear stuff like this initially without any type of proof or whatever, I just take it as battle rap. You know what I'm saying? But there was a funny part in there because they started like talking a little bit in Bad News. It was like, that's what Verb said. I was just like, well, there you go. Because everybody knows how much Av and Verb don't like each other. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not trying to say that I don't know why Verb said it. Let me just keep it neutral like that. I don't know why Verb said it. I don't know if Verb has some proof. I don't know if Verb is speaking to people. I have no fucking clue, right? But Bad News is like, Verb said it, so I'm gonna put it on you in the second round. I was like, and it's not even something that's supposed to go on a man's jacket that's worthy of laughing. I promise you, if this was off the stage, I wouldn't be laughing. But it's battle rap, so I don't know. Let Verb and Av and Bad News explain what's battle rap, what's real, what's not, what proof was not. Other than that, I'm just taking it as battle rap. Shout out to everybody, all parties involved. Um, but yeah, that's an angle that Bad News continued on, and I felt like that made it a little awkward in the building too, because it almost felt like how people like just try to like throw mud back. You know what I'm saying? That's how Bad News could have had that angle written 5 weeks ago for all we know. But it just doesn't feel like that in the building, considering the situation that's at stake, right? It didn't feel like that. So it came off awkward because it's kind of like that, no, you too. It felt like that. It's like, all right, the whole crowd is watching there. We're all on the stream, and everybody's just like, yo, this paperwork came out, which is pretty much calling you a snitch, right? And you did defend it in the first round. Like you defended it, but it seemed like you also admitted to it. Maybe I'll rewatch it again just to make sure I got that correct. And or everybody that was in the live chat, maybe we got to rewatch it again to make sure that we have that correct, just to be respectful. But then in your second round, it's like you did something. There's like top 3 or 4 things in the world to put on a man that's like bottom of the bucket, right? One of them is telling, and one of them is some pedo shit, right? Or some RS type of shit, right? And you put that on Av. So it's just like, it looks like the mudslinging back and forth shit. It's just like, the battle is fucking ruined, man. It's just, anyway, let me get to this topic now. I didn't want to shout out to the Lux the Goat. I'm gonna get to you in 1 second, homie. I didn't want to say this on my stream that I had some news coverage, bad news coverage in it a couple of days ago. I didn't want to say this prior because if you're learning me, man, I try to find a way to always be respectful and mindful of what a league owner got to go through, because I sat there doing live pay-per-views for 10 years, right? Pay-per-view scaled, events for 10 plus years. And the job is hard as shit. Of every job and way that I've made earn myself a check throughout my life, battle rap has been the hardest check. And I didn't open storefronts and businesses and real. I've done so. I lived a active life as far as hunting on that American dream and making my money and earning my living. Battle rap was always been the hardest check. So I try to be real respectful to league owners. I try not to say things that will like jeopardize an event or detract anybody that follows me or is influenced by me from buying a stream or buying a ticket. I try to be careful with that. But one thing that I withheld myself from saying before, or a question that I wanted to ask before, is do y'all feel that the battle should have even happened? That was a question I wanted to ask, and I left it alone. I said, I'll wait until after. Do y'all feel the battle should have even happened? So there's factors at play there. You got Bad Newz, you know, you're putting yourself in a situation that is just not worth it. You know, allegations like that is past rap street shit. And we know where that goes. I know a lot of people be online saying, ain't nobody gonna do nothing when y'all see him. It only takes that one person or that one, even a heck. I thought that for Adi Boom. I used to think to myself, like, even if he continues to battle, it's not smart, it's not safe. Because it's not always about somebody doing something to you. People forget that you could do something to somebody and get yourself in a world of trouble. Like, what if you're just up there doing your job, which you was contracted to do, and somebody in the front row screams, rat, and you jump down there, you beat the shit out of them, and then you catch yourself a fucking criminal suit behind it. Now you got to go sit up because you assaulted somebody, a fan in the front row because he called you a rat. You know what I'm saying? So putting yourself in that situation, I never thought was smart for anybody. That is when you got that type of tension or those type of eyes on you or those type of accusations, sometimes it's best to stay away from certain pockets of people or pockets of energy. Now I know there's that ego thing, and I know there's also a business thing. I'm coming to pick up my bag. There's all these different elements, but I advised youngin in the past the same thing. Like, I don't think you should be going around people. It's not safe. Whether somebody wants to do something to you or whether you want to do something to somebody, either way, you can end up in trouble. It's not worth it. So that's one thought that I had for Bad Newz. What I had for Av was just like, eh, this is where people do this, some of the selective thing, right? Like, they killed Whack 100 for this. What they killed Whack 100 for, especially like you saw episodes like when he did $1 million worth of game with Gilly and Wallow. They was on his heels because it was like, use a pyro, use a street nigga, you follow street code. So any association with a confirmed rat or snitch is supposed to be breaking the code. And Whack 100's excuse was always like, can't nobody tell me about my business. Like, as if he separated his own street codes that he lives by from the way he will earn a check or go about business. And it's just like, I don't know if you're supposed to be able to do that, but everybody's different. The people shuffle the cards on a table all the fucking time. You know what I'm saying? So I already spoke about Newz. Like, Av was, do you feel like Av should have still done the battle? Right now, of course, there's elements there where he's just like, business. I'm supposed to be coming to pick up my bag. I'm not supposed to come get my money. Like, I got kids to feed, I got bills to pay, whatever he got going on personally. I get it. Right. So you got that element. Then you got the element of, nigga, I was contracted and signed on to do this before the news broke. Okay, I get it. Then you got T Top. I'm supposed to violate my man, my homie, fuck him over. I'll let y'all answer that as far as Av. Now, when that bleeds into, damn, I'm supposed to cancel on T Top, then it also, now let's go to the third person, T Top. Should T Top have canceled the battle? So you got one thought where I said, like, I gave this advice to Youngin in the past, like, does T Top realize that he accepted that as a liability in the building? What if something happens? What if something happens? Did he accept that as a liability then? Right? Street code wise, gangster wise, gang, whatever, is Av and T Top are they crossing a line there as far as their own beliefs or their own morals? And I don't know. I don't know. So should T Top have T Top was in a tough spot, man, because you got your money tied up into it, you got business tied up into it, you got fan expectation, and then this shit drops the week of, and it's just like, yo, this turns into promotion, which can lead to more money, but then you got this also code side of things. It's just like, oh shit, and you see that all three parties involved continue to move forward. Newz said, I'm going to be there. Av said, I'm going to be there. I even redesigned some of my rounds. And T-Top, yeah, we got it on the stage. He did interviews before. Like, it's going down. So I'll leave that in the chat for y'all. I wanted to ask y'all that question. Initially, I just thought that it would have casted a shadow that wasn't the right vibe for me to do, for these three people involved prior to the event going down. Just let it play out how those three parties involved want to let it play out. We'll be here to watch it if it goes down, and we'll be here to talk about it after. And then they have to continue to maneuver based on if it still happens and what happens after that. That's for those three men to maneuver after that. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I'll drop a comment and drop something in the chat. Let me know how I feel about that. Shout out to Lux the Goat, man. 313 says, people really saying, but nobody ended up going to jail over it. So he's not a snitch. People are so mentally deficient. LOL. So that's what I was saying earlier. Like, you see, I keep using the King Yella example there. I don't know King Yella. I'm not trying to disrespect nobody. People I don't know and people I do know, I always try to keep it as even kill and as non-disrespectful as possible. But that's what King Yella said. He said out of his own mouth, I didn't put nobody in jail. That has always been, even when I was younger. I was in my 20s looking at people crazy for saying that. Like, what do you mean I never put nobody in jail? What do you mean? If you grew up with a little brother or sister, right? If they went to mommy or daddy and said, hey, my little brother did this. If you didn't get spanked, cool. But you still got to look at them like, damn, you told on me. Like people be feeling like the consequences erases the action. That's insane to me. That to me, anybody that ever takes that position, I literally, if you happen to be a close friend of mine, family of mine, close associate of mine, and if you believe that the amount of consequences can erase the action, I would like to know if you are close to me and you have that belief, because I want to either remove myself from you or I want to keep an extra set of eyes on you or a third eye on you, because that shit don't make no fucking sense. That's insane. And that's coming from a fucking civilian. Saying that nobody got arrested. What? If dude is sitting there in belly like, I'm gonna drop a dime on him, I'm gonna drop a dime on him, I'm gonna drop a dime on that nigga, and nobody gets, so but he still is I'm cool. But listen, all due respect to T-Top, Av, Bad Newz, they did the battle. It just went down. Unfortunately, the energy and the vibe of it ruined the battle. It's not really replayable. I think it's worth watching once. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not saying don't support. You know what I'm saying? Check it out. If you didn't get the pay-per-view, grab the VOD. Support T-Top in his league, and what they just put it on for y'all. A lot of y'all wanted to see if it was going to happen anyway. Don't lie to yourself. I'm not going to lie on camera. I'm not going to let y'all lie to yourself. Y'all wanted to know what was going to happen. It just went down, and now you can go watch and listen for yourself. You know what I'm saying? So shout out to all parties involved. You know what I mean? But after you watch it on VOD, on pay-per-view, or even if you wait for the YouTube drop, it's not a replayable battle. It wasn't a good battle. It was ruined by all this controversy and the energy going down. But like, who couldn't have expected that? Actually, that was the best case scenario. It could have been much worse, but it is what it is. Y'all know the name of the podcast.
Don't confuse silence with work ethic. I'm a boss making decisions, my first fetish. The verse cherished is perfect, that's a reverse blemish. I dropped it, connected the block, learn Tetris.
This is the Sorry True Podcast. Welcome to the house of. And shout out to the members.